Welcome to GTC's Teaching Tidbits Blackboard Ultra. In this series, each episode we explore techniques, tips, practices, and ideas to expand your knowledge of and your comfort with using Blackboard Ultra. I'm joined again by April Akins from the Curriculum and Instructional Support Center, CISC for short. Welcome, April.
Good morning. Thank you.
As always, I love recording these. I get the kind of sneak preview of what they're going to be doing. We do these episodes because Blackboard features monthly updates. And so these episodes are to provide a review of what is coming in the next month, and this time in the new year, because we are headed into January 2025. So April is here with a look at what is coming in January 2025. And April, I will turn it over to you to share your teaching tidbits.
All right, so January, I can't believe I'm saying that out loud right now. January 2025, what's going to be happening with Blackboard? So I want to highlight a few things that we know are happening with the January update, some that I've got one marked as coming soon because we're not 100% sure. We haven't seen it on our test server yet. So I want to give you those highlights. And then also I want to touch on an update that Yuja put out, because I think that's been a little bit confusing. So I want to make sure people do see that and know that that is coming as well. So first off, with alternative formats, and if you're not familiar with that, that's part of Ally and our accessibility capabilities within Blackboard. So students are able to download their any information that you put into Blackboard. They can download it into an HTML, an EPUB, some of those like immersive readers, some of the other alternative formats that are helpful for students. One thing they're going to now be able to do with the January update is be able to download that original file that you put in there. So if you put it in as a Word doc, they'll be able to pull that down and be able to manipulate that for their own needs if they have that for accessibility issues. So just want to make you aware of that they can download that now. Another update, when you're in the grid view for grading, it's going to improve how the grading maps itself. So when you go in and punch in the grade, I've got it kind of small here, but you'll see I've punched in just 25 for the grade for this particular column. What that's going to do is when you save it, it has been placing it in kind of the override category, but now when you put it in and save it, it will actually put that in as the grade for that actual column. So it just helps with the calculations on the back end a little bit better. And I know in the December updates, we talked about that automatic 0, it was defaulting to turn on. I think enough of us complained that we didn't like that. So when you build a new course, it should default to off now. So they should not be seeing those automatic 0s coming across when past due assignments happen. So if you want that to be happening, make sure you are going back into the gradebook settings and checking that box. So that's on you to turn it on instead of turning it off now. So just a reminder there. This is the one that's coming soon. So when you set up your release conditions, when you're wanting students to be able to complete something before they move on to the next module, sometimes you want to do it based on their performance. Another option you're going to have now is that the attempt has been submitted. So if you're not as concerned about what the grade is for that assignment, you're just wanting them to have submitted the work, and maybe it's going to take you a week to get that graded, but you want them to be able to move on to the next module. That is something that is going to be coming soon. We haven't seen it live on the test server, but I was able to snap a picture of it from the release notes. So here you'll see attempt submitted. That's a choice now that you can do when you're doing the release conditions itself. So kind of a neat option there, but like I said, it's not quite out there just yet. And then this one, let's see, it's going to play this through for you. But now when you go into your gradebook settings and you scroll down, you're going to have an option to item management. So you can manage the gradebook items. And what you now can do is show or hide columns from you, the instructor. So if you've got something in there that you don't want to make visible for you, it's just a back column that you're using for something, you can now hide that from yourself. It will still be visible for the students, but it's hiding it from you if you're just trying to clean up your gradebook a little bit. But that is something that is out there, and I'm kind of walk you through the steps of how to get to it. So in the gradebook, go to your overall grade settings, and then it'll be in that options on when you scroll down. It's kind of towards the bottom before you get to the grade categories. but that lets you manage your your items in your gradebook. And then the AI design assistant is constantly improving itself. So one thing that they are doing is improving when you do the auto-generated content for learning modules. You'll see here they've got two images. One is showing, this is how it was originally showing up. So it was a brief little paragraph that they were putting there, kind of an overview. But they've made that more robust now with what they are generating when you put in those kind of descriptions and set that up yourself. The other improvement they've done is improve the generated images. So here you can see this is what construction was kind of showing up as before. Now, when you're generating it, it's a little bit more clear and a little bit more image of what maybe you're looking for. So just play with it, test it out, and see how that's working for you. But that's another improvement that they're making. If you see things in this area with AI Design Assistant that you think could strengthen it, let us know, because we can always put those type things in the idea exchange for Blackboard. And then lastly, like I said, we wanted to show you an update that happened in Yuja. The first is now, this is going to go kind of fast. Tracy set this up for us. But when you get the drop down to begin with, you want to use the browser capture. I can't remember what the settings were before, but that's what you'll want to select. And she's going to roll back to it here. So create the recording. What you want to do is select that bottom one that says browser capture. Then that's going to pull it up for you, what you're used to. The other thing is all of the settings are now across the bottom and instead of on the left-hand side. So they didn't go away, they just moved to the bottom of the screen, which I think when you're actually doing recording, it's a little bit easier to manage the recordings that way. But so that's an update with Yuja itself. So those are the major updates I have for this month with Blackboard, and then this one tip about Yuja that is already in place.
Oh, thank you so much, April. These are great little tips to hear about, especially I was sitting here thinking as you were sharing about how they have changed the automatic 0 defaults to off. Again, just reminding, I know Rebecca and you have mentioned in the past that ideas exchange and to be communicating with you all suggestions, frustrations, things. And this is a great example of them hearing enough and listening and making a change for us, yes, but others as well. So what a great reminder to be sharing with you all the things that they're noticing, that they're liking, suggestions that they have, things that we're noticing that are creating some frustration as well. So thank you for sharing these updates, some new things to look forward to. Great heads up about Yuja. I will tell you there have been times, and I'm still haven't used Yuja a lot. I'm slowly easing into it, but selecting which one to record with, I can never remember which one. And I've gotten myself into a couple frustrating situations because I've chosen the wrong one.
Exactly. Browser capture. You want to use what's live in front of you, that browser capture.
Yes, yes. And I will say some of those updates with the gradebook sound like we are getting even closer and closer to all of the expansive things that we used to have capability-wise in original with our gradebook, like those hiding of those columns and things. So that's exciting to continue to see them, again, just expanding capabilities to really meet the needs that we have, or for those of us who like real streamlined, efficient, that's great. So if you want to continue the conversation with April or any of the other members of the CISC team, please feel free to reach out. Of course, you can always reach April at her email address, april.akins@gvltec.edu. Rebecca is also the Blackboard administrator, Rebecca Roth, rebecca.roth@gvltec.edu. But if you're not quite sure who you need, a great place to start is by filling out a support ticket. That will help CISC know exactly who to connect you with to answer your questions or help you with your challenge. And again, you can use the link in the description below this video to access that support ticket. And also CISC has a great LibGuide with all things that they're working on, links to helpful information, and you can also access that LibGuide through the link in the description below this video. That's our teaching tidbit for this episode. Looking ahead to January 2025 updates, and we will see you next year.